Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. First off, let me just apologize for all of the mess right behind me here. I am right in the middle of filming Reaster Week 2025, so you know that's coming up pretty soon, so watch out for it. So just ignore that mess in the background. We will just continue on with our video today. And what's happening today? 21-inch Deco mesh, Poof style, Easter wreath. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made. I am using a 15-inch working with frame, and these have stems already attached along with 21-inch Deco mesh, these wooden signs that I absolutely love and they're so fun, some stuffed carrots or carrots that are stuffed, I don't know, 2.5 and 1.5 inch wired ribbon in various colors and patterns, some fuzzy picks, and of course some curly Q picks as well to add a little fun and excitement, pipe cleaners, and my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. I want to thank TMI Gifts for all of these products. You can visit them at tmigifts.com. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out my stems on my wire wreath frame. This is a working wreath frame with the stems attached already, and I'm going to be attaching the Deco mesh inside those stems, and the stems are on the inside and the outside wire, so I'm going to be working with those. The first thing I'm going to do is unravel my 21-inch Deco mesh. And again, this is 21-inch Deco mesh, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in about 1 inch from the edge, and I'm just going to gather it right in my finger. So I'm just letting my fingers do the walking, hold it together, and then I'm going to start attaching into my stems. For me, I like to work on the outside in. If you want to work on the inside out, that's totally up to you. There is no right or wrong way. It's just my preference to work on the outside in. And then I'm just going to take that Deco mesh, place it right in between that stem, twist it around a couple of times, and attach our first attachment. Then I'm going to line up the stem at the 0 mark, and then I'm going to measure out 14 inches, and that's going to be the magic number for our poof wreath. Gather it all together, and then I'm going to open up my next available stem. Again, I'm working on the outside first, placing the Deco mesh in between the two stems, and then wrapping it around a couple of times. And after that, we've created our first little poof for our poof wreath. I'm going to do the exact same method, so I'm lining up my stem at the 0 mark, measuring out 14 inches, using my fingers to do the walking, gather it all together, and then I'm going to bring that right into the next available stem. I'm going to open it up, bring that mesh right in between the two stems, and then I'm going to wrap those stems around. It's just like using a pipe cleaner. We're just twist tying it. These working wreath frames are great. You don't have to build your own. I like to build my own. It doesn't matter to me. But once you get the first round done, we are going to overlap at the first attachment. So I'm doing my very last one here, gathering it together at the 14 inches, and then I'm going to open up that very first stem where we attached our first attachment of our Deco mesh, and that's where we're going to attach the last one on the outside. So my outside is all complete, and now I'm going to start working on that inside. We're not going to cut that Deco mesh, but what we're going to do is where we ended off on the outside frame and the inside first stem, it's a little short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my first attachment on the inside to the next available stem. And the reason for doing this is if we attach it to that one that's really close to the last one, it's going to create an odd poof. So what we want to do is we want to keep consistency with the size and the look of our poofs. So that's why I'm going to the next available stem. So the one that we finished at, the one on the inside, skip that one and then move right to the next one. And then we're going to follow the same method of procedure, attaching that Deco mesh by twisting it right in between those two inside stems. And then I'm just going to continuing on, doing the same method of procedure, measuring the 14 inches, gathering it, and then placing it right in between their two stems. Once we're all done, I'm going to add a little cable tie right at the very end, tie it nice and tight, And then I'm just going to cut off the excess of the cable tie and cut the excess of my Deco mesh. And then I'm just going to place that right towards the back. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's totally optional. I just like to do that to keep it all gathered. But here is our base Poof wreath using the working wreath frame. Now I'm going to cut some ribbon. I'm cutting at the 14-inch mark, so I have a solid orange that I'm cutting. I also have that solid green color. Again, I'm going to cut at that 14-inch mark. I have a orange, blue, white, and green plaid, again 14 inches, and this beautiful carrot wreath. So I have 2.5 inches and 1.5 inch ribbon. And for each end, I'm just folding it in half, creating a little dovetail right at the end. And I'm going to do that for all 4 of my ribbon that I just cut on both sides. So again, I have 4 different kinds of ribbon today. I have an orange, a green, plaid, and the carrot themed ribbon. I'm going to cut 9 pieces of each ribbon at the 14-inch mark. So again, 9 pieces cut at the 14-inch mark for all of them. Now that we have our base done and our ribbons all cut, we're going to attach our ribbons. So I'm just going to lay them, and I'm just going to lay them at the halfway point. So I'm just overlapping them, and I'm going to use 4 ribbons per bundle, and I'm using 9 bundles in total. I'll find that center. Then I'm just going to take my fingers and I'm just going to gather all of that ribbon right in the middle. I'm going to bend it down into a V shape, forming that V shape. It's wired ribbon, it'll stay. And then on my first attachment, I'm going to grab the first available outside stem and place the ribbon right there. And we can fan it out a little bit, see how it looks. I love how it looks, so I'm just going to continue with that. I love the 4 different ribbons as well. For this one, I am skipping every other one. So I'm going to add ribbon on one stem, skip the next stem, and then I'm going to add ribbon to the second stem. And right here you can see I'm kind of varying the order of the ribbon. I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. You can use the same order if you want. I just choose to do different orders for mine. So we're attach it the same way. We're going to skip the next one and then add ribbon to the second available one. Once I work on the outside, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the inside, and here all my ribbon is attached. 9 bundles in total, skipping every other one of those stems to attach those ribbons. Now, of course, we're going to make a beautiful bow for our wreath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather my ribbon at the 14-inch mark, lay it down at 0, gather it together at the 14-inch, bring it towards my hand, creating a loop. And then we have a tail, the first one. And then, of course, we're going to do 14 inches once more, gathering it together, bringing it to my fingers, holding it in place, creating another loop, making sure that good side is facing up by twisting right in the center. And then we're going to create another loop. For this first segment, we're going to do 4 loops at that 14-inch mark, which will be 7-inch loops. So I'm working on my 4th one right now, getting it all together, gathering it, and then I'm going to measure out my last 14 inches, cutting with my scissors. Once that's all cut, I'm going to grab my pipe cleaner, place that right in the center, twist it around a couple of times, lay that flat, and then I'm just going to fluff it up a little bit, dovetail the ends just to finish it off, and our first segment of our bow is all complete. We'll just put that to the side, and then we're going to work on our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th segments. For each one, I'm doing the same method of procedure. This time around, for the 2nd segment, I'm going to measure at the 12 inches, creating those loops, and I'm going to create 3 loops, and then I'm going to cut the tails off, add that pipe cleaner, twist it right around the center. We're going to dovetail it, and then that'll finish off our 2nd segment, and we can work on our 3rd segment, which is going to be at the 10-inch mark. And this is 1.5-inch wired ribbon measured out to 10 inches. I'm going to do 4 loops for this one and 2 tails. So we'll measure out that 10 inches, cut, add that pipe cleaner right in the center, give it a good couple of twists, and then we're going to dovetail our tails right at the end. Our last segment is going to be at 8 inches, and for this one I'm creating 3 loops and 2 tails. So once I'm done, I'm going to cut at the 8-inch mark, grab that pipe cleaner, twist it all together, and then we're going to dovetail to finish that off. First I have to fluff it. You know me, I have to fluff it. Once we have all of our segments done, now we just lay them on top of each other and attach them with the pipe cleaners that we attached. We just feed each segment to the back, twist tie it around, and then we're going to do our third segment after I fluff it up a little bit and just get it organized, attaching that all the way around the back, using that pipe cleaner again, just twisting it in place. And then our final segment, once I fluff it up a little bit more, we can add that on there to create our beautiful, gorgeous multi-pattern and color bow for this Easter wreath. Again, we're just attaching it right at the back, twist tying it, making sure it's nice and secure. And of course, when I flip it over, it's all flat. So I'm going to get the tails all laid out first, and then I'm going to start, guess what? We're going to fluff that bow to my heart's content. And here we are. Our bow is all ready for our wreath. Once it's all done, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know I like to do what I call a dry run. So what I do is I take my base wreath, I take all of my embellishments, and I just attach them without putting any glue or any type of attachment on there. And I just place it down without using any glue, just to kind of get an idea of where I want everything to go. So once I'm happy with that, I usually take my camera out and I snap a really quick picture so I can use that as a reference for the future, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything off, and then after I take it all off, I'm going to attach my bow, just feeding the pipe cleaners that we had on our bow right through to the back, twist tying it around that wreath frame a couple of times, cutting off the excess, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing with my sign. So I'm just going to feed those pipe cleaners through the back, twist tying it a couple of times, and I'm going to do that for both of those signs as well. Once I'm happy with all of that attachment on there and I've got everything the way I want it to look, I'm going to actually start taking that glue gun of mine and I'm going to start gluing everything down. So I'm starting with those big carrots, just gluing them right in place. And then of course I do take my phone out every once in a while and I do take a look at it. After I glue something down, here I am, you can see I'm looking at that picture, referencing what I did before, and then I just continue gluing everything in place step by step. And once that's all done, we have our final wreath, which is larger than my crafting table, but that's okay because I'm in love with this wreath. I love these colors, the green, the orange, and that little pop of that blue color just made me so happy. And I love those little fuzzy, I don't even know what you call them, those fuzzy picks along with the curly Q picks. Just so happy, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Here's a little bloopers for you. And usually for those week of wreaths, Halloween, Christmas, what is the name of the wreath? Wreathmas. But that was a mouthful. I'm out of breath. Oh, what was I going to say? I don't know. Today I am going to be doing coffee. Coffee always helps. For today's wreath, we are going to do what in the freaking hell? I can't say Easter for some reason. Hello, everyone. No. Wild out, but that's okay. I love it. I love doing all of this. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. On a tangent. Coffee. We are going to be doing a 10-inch deco mesh. No, I lied. It's 21 inches, Dave. Blah, 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 blah. You can kind of snoop around and see a little preview, like at the little bunny over there. No. Thank you so much for joining me today while I created this 21-inch Poof Easter wreath. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.